For our math lesson today, we will be completing the last lesson in Topic 5. Today's lesson is called Precision. Our learning intention is I can understand that the equal sign means the same value as, and I will use precise language when talking about it. Our Solve and Share begins on page 237 in our Envisions Volume 1 workbook. Again, that's page 237. If you need to pause the video to open up your workbook to that page or go grab your workbook, you can pause the video now. But if you're ready to get started on your Solve and Share, then let's get started. Our Solve and Share says, write a true equation with one number on one side and three numbers on the other side. Each number should be different. Explain your reasoning. Now I want you to remember, when we are talking about a true equation, that means that both numbers on each side of the equal sign are the same. So in our true equation, it wants us to write one number on one side of the equal sign and three numbers on the other side. Since it is a true equation and both sides of the equal sign have to be the same, whatever single number you write in this blank, the three numbers on the other side must equal the same. For example, if I write the number 6 on this side of the equal sign, that means that the three numbers I write here also must equal 6. Now something that we have to remember is that each number should be different. So we want to use three different numbers. So in my example, I'm going to use the number 6. So I have to write three different numbers that equal 6 when added together. So I'm going to start with, I'll start with 3 plus 2 plus 1. Now I chose these three numbers because I know that 3 plus 2 equals 5 and 1 more is equal to 6. So this equation is true because this is saying 6 is equal to 3 plus 2 plus 1, which is the same as 6. So it is saying 6 equals 6. So that was my example. So now I want you to write your own true equation. If you want, you can use my number of 6 and use three different numbers to add it together. Or you can use any number. Just make sure you use three different numbers to add together to make your number here. Now let's watch our animated video to help us follow the top of our workbook page 238.
What missing number can you write to make this equation true? What does the problem ask you to do?
Well, to make a true equation, we know that both numbers on each side of the equal sign must equal the same number. We have 14 equals 5 plus blank plus 8. So the problem wants us to find the missing number. So when we add 5, 8, and the missing number, it will also equal 14.
You must find the missing number that will make the equation true. How can you be precise as you solve this problem? You can use words, numbers, and symbols correctly. Will you use a number or a symbol to make the equation true? How do you know? You will use a number since there is a plus sign before and after the blank. What does the equal sign mean? The equal sign means the same value as. So, what has the same value in this equation? "14 has the same value as 5 plus some number plus 8.
That's being precise.
What should you do first? Add 5 plus 8. Show 5 plus 8 using counters. 5 plus 8 is equal to 13. Then, what will the equation be? Select your answer.
We took 5 plus 8 and got 13. In our original equation, that shows that we took the two add-ins that we knew, and now we need to find the missing number. So if we know 5 plus 8 is 13, our new equation would look like 13 equals our total number. So when we look here at these answer choices, we need to see one with 13 and 14. This equation here shows 13, which is 5 plus 8, 13 plus blank, our missing number, equals the same total of 14. So we would choose this title here.
The equation would be 14 is equal to 13 plus blank. What number can be added to 13 to get a sum of 14?
So 13 plus what number would give us 14? 13 plus what number would give us 14? "13 plus 1 equals 14.
Adding 1 to 13 gives a sum of 14. So 1 is the missing number. 14 is equal to 5 plus 1 plus 8.
Our Convince Me on page 238 says, is the equation given true or false? The equation they're talking about is the one below. 10 plus 5 equals 9 plus 3 plus 3. It wants us to determine if this equation is true or false, and how do we know? Let's solve this equation together. I'm first going to start by rewriting our equation in my workspace. So I'm going to write 10 plus 5 equals 9 plus 3, plus 3. Now remember, if an equation is true, that means that both numbers on each side of this equal sign are the same. So let's start by solving 10 plus 5. What is 10 plus 5? 10 plus 5. Well, 10 plus 5 is 15. So I'm going to write my answers down here in red. So we would say 15 equals, now we need to solve what 9 plus 3 plus 3 is. Now when we're working with three number equations, you can choose two numbers to add together first, then add the third one. So I think for this problem, I'm going to add together my 3 and my 3. Now you can add together a 3 and a 9 if you'd like. This is just how I chose to do it. Well, 3 plus 3, that's a doubles fact. I know that 3 plus 3 is 6. So now I need to know 9 plus 6. 9 plus 6. Well, I know that 10 plus 6 is 16. So 1 less would be 15. So this equation is telling me that 15 is equal to 15. So this equation is true. And I know it's a true equation because both answers on the side of the equal sign are the same. Now let's look at our guided practice together on page 238. So we're still on the same page. Our guided practice tells us to write the symbol plus sign, minus sign, or equal sign, or the number to make the equation true. Then tell how you know you found the correct symbol or number. So what I will have you do is you can use this space down here to show your work. So you don't have to write out, because I know we're still kind of working on writing complete sentences and spelling and such. So in the space, you can write if you would like to, or if you just want to show your work there, show you adding numbers, drawing counters, you can also do that in that space. That is absolutely fine. So the first one has already been completed for us, so let's see how they were able to determine this. So we had 3 plus 8 equals 4 plus 7. So they got the answer of 7 here in this blank. Now remember, it told us that we are either going to be writing a symbol or a number. So as we get into our independent practice, sometimes you have to add a symbol in the box or in the blank, and sometimes it'll be a number. So let's look and see. First we had 3 plus 8, or you can also say 8 plus 3. Well, 8 plus 3, let's see. I know that 8 plus 2 is 10, so one more would give me 11. So 8 plus 3 is equal to 11. They then had 4 plus blank. So then you would have to say, okay, 4 plus what number equals 11? And they chose 7. 7 plus 4, or 4 plus 7, it's the same either way, is also equal to 11. So for number 1, they had to add a number and not a symbol. So this would be 11 equals 11. So again, in this workspace down here, you can write to tell how you know, or you can also just show your work with your numbers. Let's look at this example here. So this one has 4 plus 3 plus blank equals 13. So for this problem, again, we are adding a number this time. So we need to find out 4 plus 3 plus blank is equal to 13. So what is this missing number that would equal to 13 with all of this added together? So let's start by adding together 4 plus 3. What is 4 plus 3? If you have 4, you add 3 more. That would be 5, 6, 7. So 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. I need to get to 13, so I have to find out 7 plus what number would equal 13? Let's think. Well, we can see here on this first example that 4 plus 7, or 7 plus 4, was equal to 11. Okay, so that means that 7 plus 5, which is one more, would equal 12. And 7 plus 6, which would be 2 more than 11, would equal 13. So what I did here, I just counted on. I looked at the work we had used on our first example. I knew that 7 plus 4 was equal to 11. So that if I went up one more number and said 7 plus 5, that would give me 12. But I need to get to 13, so if I add one more, 7 plus 6, and you don't have to be writing this, I'm just showing this work, would be equal to 13. So my number that would go in the blank here, I already have my 7, so I would write 6. 4 plus 3 plus 6 is equal to 13. Because 4 plus 3 plus 6 is the same work we did down here. 7 plus 6 equals 13. Okay, let's look at your independent practice and see what they have for us. All right, on our next page, page 239, we are working on your independent practice. So in your independent practice, it has the same instructions as your guided practice. It wants you to write either the symbol or the number to make the equation true. And then you can use your workspace at the bottom to either write how you know or to show your work with your numbers. That is equally as fine. So what it means by you can either write the symbol or the number, you are going to be looking at each of these equations here. So on number 3, it has 19 blank 10 equals 9. So what would go in this blank here? Would it be a symbol or a number? So we already see that our equation has an equal sign, so we know we won't be needing another one of those. But what would make sense to put here? Would we put a plus sign, a minus sign, or another number? It says 19 blank 10 equals 9. Well, we know that we are making true equations, so that means that each side of the equal sign must equal the same. So we know that this side of the equation has to equal 9. So how can we make 19 blank 10 equal 9? 19 plus 10, would that give us 9? 19 plus 10? No, that would give us a pretty high number. What about 19 minus 10? Would that give us 9? If we had 19 and we took away 10, we could use addition to double check our work. 10 plus 9 is equal to 19. So 19 minus 10 is equal to 9. So 19 minus 10 is equal to 9. Then we would write the rest of our equation. Equals 9. So this equation is true. So I wanted to just go ahead and do that first one together just so you can see what it means by you fill in the blank with either a symbol or a number. So we found that 9 equals 9 is true. So on numbers 4, 5, and 6, you are going to look at the missing area and see, does it need a symbol or does it need a number? So on number 4, it says 20 equals blank plus 5 plus 5. Would you put a symbol or a number in the blank? Well, we already have our symbols, so it looks like we would put a number. So 5 plus 5 plus what number would equal 20? Remember, we are making true equations for all of these. So first, find out what is 5 plus 5. And then what would you need to add to 5 plus 5 to get 20? And you'll write your number in the box here. And you can show your work down at the bottom. So now is a good time to pause the video so that you can work on problems 4, 5, and 6. Remember, you are wanting to find what goes in the missing area. Is it one of these symbols? Or would it be a number? So go ahead and pause the video so you can work on numbers 4, 5, and 6. When you press play, we'll be talking about number 7. On number 7, we have to pay extra close attention. Number 7 says, write the missing number in the equation below. Our friend says, think about the meanings of the symbols. So in this equation, we see 42 plus 55 equals 55 plus blank. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Oh, wow, these are some big numbers. And they are, but don't let it scare you. So we're working with true equations, right? Yes. So that means both sides of this equation are going to equal the same number. In our first equation, we see 42 plus 55. In our next equation, we see 55 plus blank. Now, I just want you to notice, what do both of these equations have in common? What number do both sides of the equation have in common? They both have a 55. Do you see? 42 plus 55 and 55 plus blank. We know that both equations have to be true. The first equation shows 42 plus 55. So if both of these equations have to be the exact same number, and we already have 55, that means the missing number would have to be exactly the same as this equation here. So we have 42 plus 55. So our missing number, we have 55 plus blank. So on number 7, we'll just do this one together. The number that is missing would have to be the same number on this side. So on number 7, do you see how these are true equations? We didn't even have to solve, just had to look. We see that 42 and 55 are used on this side of the equation, and 55 and 42 have to be used on this side of the equation because we are adding on both sides. So our missing number would be 42 on number 7. And on our last page, page 240, we just have 2 problems that have the same topic. So we are working with balloons. It says, Danny has 7 green and 4 yellow balloons. So we can see Danny's balloons here. He has 7 green and 4 yellow. Jean has 15 blue balloons. So here we see Jean's balloons. So I'm going to write a D for Danny above his balloons and a G for Jean above his balloons. Number 8 says, if Jean gives 4 of his balloons away, then he and Danny will have the same number. Fill in the blanks to make the equation true. Use symbols plus, minus, or equals. So we have to fill in all of these blanks with these correct symbols. So we have 7, blank 4, blank 15, blank 4. So let's look closely at our word story again. So it says, if Jean gives 4 of his balloons away. Well, we know that Jean has his 15 balloons here. So if he gives 4 away, is he adding or subtracting on his balloons? He is subtracting. If Gene gives 4 balloons away, we know he's going to be subtracting. So Gene had these 15 balloons, and he gave 4 away. So what symbol would we need to write here to show that he gave away or subtracted? Would we write the plus sign, the minus sign, or the equal sign? We would write the minus sign because he gives away 4 of his balloons. Then he and Danny will have the same number. Well, we know that Danny has 7 green balloons and 4 yellow balloons. So we need to know how many balloons total does Danny have? Let's see. So he has 7, and we can count on and say 8, 9, 10, 11. So for 7 and 4 to get 11, would we put a plus sign, a minus sign, or an equal sign? If we have 7 and 4 and we need to make 11, would we add, subtract, or put an equal sign? We would put a plus sign because we're adding together 7 plus 4 to get 11. So now we have 11 and 15 minus 4 is also 11. So what symbol would we need to put in the blank? Will we put a plus sign, a minus sign, or an equal sign? We know that 7 plus 4 is 11, and 15 minus 4 is also 11. So what symbol would we need to put between these two numbers to show that this is a true equation? Would we put a plus sign, a minus sign, or an equal sign? We would put an equal sign. An equal sign to show 11 equals 11. Then it says, how do you know the equation is true? How do we know the equation is true? We could say both equations equal 11. So how do we know the equation is true? We could say both equations, so 7 plus 4 and 15 minus 4 equal 11. So we modeled through number 8 together, so now I want you to try number 9 by yourself. Number 9 says, if Gene keeps all 15 blue balloons, so remember Gene had all of the blue balloons, how many balloons would Danny need to buy to have the same number as Gene? Now remember, Danny had all of the green and yellow balloons. So you need to complete the equation to find the answer. So you are going to need to write in the symbols and the numbers to help you solve number 9. So what I will do is write our equal sign so you know what to work off of. So we have 7 blank 4 blank 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 15. So we want to equal 15. So that means 7, 4, and the missing number need to equal 15. So we know that we have to add So first, you need to find what is 7 plus 4. So you can use this workspace down here. Then 7 plus 4 plus what number would give you 15? So first you can find what is 7 plus 4. Write your work and find your answer down here. Then that number plus how many more would give you 15? Once you find your answer for number 9 and have finished solving the rest of your problems, you will be all done with your math assignment for today. Now this is our last lesson in topic 5, so for the rest of the week and next week, we will be reviewing everything that we have learned in topic 5. If you have any questions at all, just let me know, and I'll see you later.